While talking about the theme of karma, I thought that it might be interesting to explore rebirth. So a lot of modern Buddhists or, you know, intellectual, scientific type Buddhists say that rebirth isn't real. But the Buddha believed in rebirth. The Buddha, on his night of enlightenment, recollects thousands and thousands upon past, thousands and thousands of past lives where he knows this was my name, this was what I ate, this is how I lived. And he recollects this, and it creates a sense of dispassion towards being born over and over into samsara. So the term samsara means rolling on. So samsara is, coming into this realm over and over and over. It's like a endless Ferris wheel that we're on. In the Buddhist perspective, rebirth is happening at every moment. There's three characteristics of all things that even science now agrees on, at least one of them, which is impermanence. So things come into creation, they age, they die, they decay, and then something new comes up. You can see it in the seasons. We have spring where I am right now, and everything's alive. And spring will turn to summer, and summer will turn to autumn, and things will start to wither. And autumn will turn to winter, and the leaves will fall and they'll die. So they've gone through a cycle of birth, maintenance, aging, and death. And then birth comes again. And it's similar with our thoughts. Thoughts are born, they stay for a while, they pass away. Any state. So if Gaia or Mother Earth or even the universe is going through those cycles, in the solar system, a sun is born, it glows, it goes supernova, and then it turns into a black hole. And then another sun is born somewhere else. So if this is happening in our universe, who's to say it doesn't happen to us? There's no way, scientifically. There are stories of people talking about rebirth. So the way rebirth, it's an interesting thing to think about, but rebirth ties into karma, and it ties into the concept of enlightenment. So one of my favorite sayings in Buddhism is the Buddha's talking to someone about samsara. And he goes, the tears that you cried going from life to life to life would fill an ocean. The blood that you've shed being beheaded as an animal, beheaded as a cow, beheaded as a different animal, going through all these different lives would fill the ocean. How much more of this do you want? Right? And that's a call for the being to give up this round of rebirths and to work towards enlightenment. And if we use it in that way, another way that the Buddhist path is referred to is going against the stream. So the stream is the cyclical thing that's happening, and what you're doing is you're walking in the other direction, saying, I'm done with this. I'm leaving this round of births and rebirths. And you can look at this from another perspective. Is, we're constantly being reborn as different entities, just in this life, right now. Right now, I'm reborn as this person speaking on this podcast. I could walk out and someone could cut me off while I'm driving, and suddenly I'm angry, and then I'm born as someone who's angry. And in all these births, it's like it's a wheel that's turning. So the Buddhist Dharma is referred to as a turning wheel, and at the center of the turning wheel is a stationary point that doesn't change. So when everything around you is changing, there's one central place that doesn't change. And instead of being reborn into all these different forms, if you abide in that center, so tying in with rebirth, the center is awareness. So awareness is aware of all these different things that are happening. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't say you should be here and you should not be here. It's like, oh, okay, it's happening. And it's not passive. This is the thing, awareness is witnessing all this. And it's not saying I don't have any agency. This is where the teaching of karma ties in with the teaching of rebirth. So while you're witnessing all these things, positive, negative, you create actions that stop this round of rebirth. And that's how the teaching of rebirth fits in with the teaching of karma. Whether you believe rebirth is from a previous life or you believe rebirth is happening at every single moment that we're alive. Take what you find useful, discard what you don't.